We understand we have reestablished our transmission. We apologize for the technical difficulties as we come to you from halfway around the world in Le Mans, France. Bob Varsha, Alan McNish, David Hobbs, Calvin Fish, and Andrew Marriott. Currently on duty, we have a big staff of Speedvision announcers here to bring you every hour of the 24 hours of Le Mans. And it appears there is rain out there. Heavy rain out there in the Porsche curves. You see just a portion of the massive crowd that has turned out for this race, expected to be 20 or 30,000 more than the 200,000 who showed up last year, and it is now pouring out there.
Look at that. Now, this is absolutely a driver's nightmare. Slick tires, which they all decide to go on, and look at that rooster tail. I mean, you'd have to be so careful in this.
Well, the thing is that on slick tires, the tires are very smooth, and the aquaplane, in fifth gear, the car will be aquaplaning coming down there. The teams will have seen this on the television and being able to radio to the drivers behind Laurent Aiello. He's the first car. He's the one that will feel every single problem.
Now, we should point out, as you're watching these pictures of a rain-soaked racetrack and rain pelting down, it is dry and sunny in the pit lane, and
Stefan Johansson's off.
Yes, that's at the Indianapolis corner. Stefan Johansson's gone in a bit too quickly, and the nose is off the car, the rear wing, etc. He's had an accident, spun coming into the corner under braking.
This, of course, is normally an incredibly fast corner approach, but in situations like this, obviously these guys taking it very coolly. But
see the track marshals swarming out there.
With slick tires, as Alan said, when the water the way it was raining earlier on today, and obviously the way it's raining over there now, you get this terrific build-up of water just instantly, and the slick tires just won't handle it.
It's like the crew has a set of everything out in the Audi garage.
Well, that's the big question now, because undoubtedly Aiello will be into the pit, but what are they going to put on? It's dry here, it's wet on the other side of the circuit.
There you see how dry it is in the pit lane, but we can see the showers approaching from our announce position high above the start-finish line.
Look at the gravel coming out of that car. Oh,
maybe low at the left front as well.
It looks a bit down, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly hit the Armco barrier, there's no question about it, but that car is going to be in, as we see, another one into the gravel.
Looks like Eric Bernard.
And he's high-sided, so he can't get out unless they get some help.
Well, let's be honest about it. Aiello's gone past. Aiello has not gone into the pits.
Wow.
He's decided to continue at the moment. He must feel that the dry section of the circuit will gain him more time than he would lose on the wet part. Certainly a brave decision.
That's incredibly brave. That's at the entry to the Porsche curvers there that the number 5 car's gone on.
Well, look at this picture. Here you have shadows cast by sunlight while the rain is pelting down.
Must be a good rainbow there somewhere.
One of the Bentleys is coming straight into the pits.
Followed by the sister car.
I've got to be honest, I think I would be more inclined at this stage of the race to come into the pit.
Well, you simply can't risk it this early.
Well, the other thing is, though, that once the car is on the wet part, there's very, very little the driver can do. There's very little control he can put into it.
Let's get down to the pit lane and Andrew Marriott.
Yeah, I'm down here in the Bentley pit. Both cars, the 7 car and the 8 car, came in almost in unison. You can see the wet on the bodywork of the cars, and they're going to fit the Dunlop intermediates here. They are topping up the fuel, and everything's in very good order here. Of course, this may be a new team. But very experienced people have been running at Le Mans for many years. Calvin, you.
Is in. They're going to be going to full wet. They're taking the slicks off. Fueling went in first. Now the crew goes to work. Normal Le Mans rules. They can't do any work on the car while the fuel is going. I see a leak. Maybe it's just water actually coming out of the left rear corner. Probably a lot of water coming out once they pull the wheel off. 2 guns only on the car. Left side is complete. They're going around to the front, cleaning out the grills. I'm not sure if Frank has been off the course or not. He waved with his hand, but he might have been. He's back out of here. We're still waiting on Johansson. They're waiting to come in here and try and get Stefan's car fixed.
Boy, I tell you what, that move of Aiello's there. Hello, the pace car's going out.
On board of the Bentley now. Through the S's, headed for the...
See how dry and sunny it is there at the top of the Dunlop curve.
That's a very tricky part, but there's one thing I noticed there. Aiello stayed out on slicks, but he was a full 26 seconds quicker than the Dome on that slippery part of the circuit.
Damage to the Larbra Team Viper GTS machine.
That was quick in qualifying as well, so that's one of the top...
Oh, no! Heavy crash at the Arnage corner.
That's a Celine out as well. The Celine looks to be out. There's the Peugeot.
There's John Nielsen's car there.
Thing is, there's people at the back that maybe aren't seeing those yellow flags in the spray, and they're locking up coming into that. So I think now with the pace car out, it will settle down a little while.
The safety car is out. Picked up the Panos just behind the number 8 Bentley. Stefan Johansson has made it back to the pit area, but look at the damage to the Audi.
Well, big damage down here, Bob. As you can see, the front is completely destroyed. The rear bodywork was up in the air a little bit. I didn't really catch before they got into the garage if there's any major damage back there. You can see the stones and gravel coming out. Mechanics going to work on taking off the nose piece on the car, the crash structure at the very front here. There's a lot of leads pulled out. I don't see any damage to the corners themselves. The wishbones and push rods and everything look okay. Stefan just shook his head like he could not believe how slick the conditions were out there. It looks bad, but I think they're going to get this out of here probably in about, looks like about a 10-15 minute fix, but until they get some of these nose boxes off here, they can't really tell.
Well, we saw last year when they completed a miraculous 6-minute rear end change on these Audis that they have a modular construction and they can do amazing things to these cars if they have the pieces ready.
The champion car also damaged the end plate on the wing there, swinging. He had a spin down the Porsche curves as well, I believe.
Well, as you're saying about the gearbox change, but that whole engine cover comes off with the rear wing attached. So therefore it's very, very quick to change many parts of the Audi, and that was one of its benefits last year, as well as the speed going around the circuit.
That's the Ascari, the number 20 car with Xavier Pompidou driving. That's a Judd engine too. That's one of the big cars.
Pitted from 12th place. Now, the extraction continues out on the race course. The car to the right is one of the LMP 675 cars. That's the Rowan Racing Pilbeam Nissan, as the engine cover comes off the back of the champion Audi.
And there was Aiello, had already come round behind that slow-moving car. So Aiello managed to hang on to the road there. So it seems like he's must have incredible feel for this car in the wet.
Laurent has got incredible feel generally. He is I've raced against him and I've raced with him. He's been my teammate here twice in the last 3 years, and the guy really knows how to drive.
Calvin, what can you add on the champion car?
They've changed the rear deck because the left rear wing end plate was damaged when he spun off the course. Not majorly, but enough to destroy the handling. Quick change there, lost about 30 seconds, and Ralph takes it back on course.
The action continuing. The number 57 car started by David Terrien of France.
I can ascertain that that is a particularly slippery part of this road. Having had a nasty incident myself there in 1972, the 37 car coming in. Not looking too happy. That's one of Dick Barber's, Reynard Judd's running in the LMP 675 class. They were really hoping for better things.
That's Milka Duno from Caracas, Venezuela, one of 3 female drivers in the field, bringing that car in. Last year, Dick Barber ran GT Porsches. This year, he has moved up to the prototype class with the LMP 675. Local yellow out in the Arnage area. Still very wet on the Mulsanne. Dramatic start to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We'll be right back. We are back live at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where Laurent Aiello leads in the Audi over Jan Lammers and Martin Brundle in the GTP Bentley, followed by Frank Villa and Andy Wallace in the second Bentley. Both Bentleys on their return to Le Mans currently in the top 5. But we are under a full course yellow. The safety car is out, and there is the scene of the accident that helped bring it out. And there is one of the victims of that accident. That's the number 61 Celine that was started in this race by Tony Seiler, sharing with Swiss gentleman racer Walter Vroom and Charles Slater from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, former owner of the International Motorsports Association.
Aiello's last lap was 2 minutes and 20 seconds slower than his best lap of the race so far, but it was still 48 seconds quicker than the dome of Lammers. This car is damaged badly, Bob. That front end is severely compromised, as they say.
There's one thing, there's now a few people came into the pits, changed over to the wet tyre, which is certainly the tyre for the conditions on the back straight on the Mulsanne, where we saw that accident with the Celine. However, here in front of the pits, it's dry. So the drivers on the wet tyre have got to be very, very careful not to use that wet tyre on the dry part. The drivers on the dry tyre have got to be very careful on the wet. So even although you're out there going slow, you're still having